What's going on, lovely people? Another production made by Ranking Productions coming at you with a brand new video here. Today is going to be a special day. I've decided to finally make a video based on my favorite franchise of all time, The Legend of Zelda. As far as I remember, the first video game I've ever played was Ocarina of Time, and it was the first boss in the Deco Tree. Ever since then, I've fallen in love with the series, and I've always been excited to see what Nintendo brings out for this franchise. Obviously, we got some of the games set up there just as my backdrop to hold up my background so it doesn't fall over. Hopefully my jerry-rig setup here will hold up and nothing will collapse in this video, but no promises. So let's just get right into it, guys. So I chose my top 5 favorite Zelda games that I've played. I haven't played all of them. Obviously, I don't have all of them because since the Zelda franchise has wonderful, excellent games, it's kind of hard to spend the amount of money that people want you to buy them for. Example, the Minish Cap. I've only played it once in my whole life, but I've never been able to pick it up because I'm not ready to part with that much yet, but hopefully I'll get a deal on it one day. But all that aside, this is just going to be 5 games that I've liked the most, that I've played, that I've completely played through, minus one that's on here because it's so massive and expansive, and I think I know which one. I think you guys know which one I'm talking about there, but let's just get right into it, guys. So my number 5, so this took 5th place. This is the first handheld Zelda game that I played. This was actually handed down to me from my oldest brother. It was actually given to my older brother, not my oldest, but my older brother. He got it, but I ended up taking possession of it, and since I love Zelda so much, I figured this would be the game that I would play more than I got from my oldest brother, which was Donkey Kong Land. But obviously I like Zelda more, so here we go. So this is, my camera will focus, so we got The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. I absolutely adore this game. I love the mechanics. The mechanic of you change the seasons with the Rod of Seasons, I believe is what it's called. It's been a while since I've played it, but this game, I absolutely love it. I love the graphic style. I love the Capcom feel that you made. For those who don't know, this was made by Capcom. This and Oracle of Ages was both made by Capcom. I have played a little bit of Oracle of Ages on my 3DS, and I do say I do like this one a lot better than Oracle of Ages, because this one is very, very interesting in the way I've played Zelda games. When I was a little child, maybe 9, 10, 11 years old, it took me hours and hours just to solve the puzzles in this game. But even though this was more of a action-based game, and Oracle of Ages was I think that one was the puzzle game, because originally there was going to be 3, but they only released 2. This was just a fun game to play, and if you want to get into the Zelda franchise, especially if handheld, sorry about the flash there, if you really want to get into handheld games for Zelda, this would be one way to go. Moving on here, this is the Game Boy Advance era. This is the game that I learned what Link to the Past was. Way back when I think I had birthday money, I was allowed to spend on one game, and there's one game that I automatically went to. I eyeballed it for, gosh, I'm going to say maybe 2 or 3 months. I eyeballed The Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past that includes 4 swords. This is one of my prized possessions. This is a factory sealed copy of Legend of Zelda Link to the Past 4 swords for a GBA. This is how I learned about Link to the Past, so there's not really much I can say on it. I mean, it's Link to the Past. What do you expect? And it looks better. A lot of the problems that were in the original cart were fixed. And it includes 4 swords, so if you have that GBA connector, you can play 4 players. Now, these 3 that I have left, these are the home console ones. These are the ones that I'm not doing in, favorite ranked order. I just decided to do them in chronological order that they came out or released, just because these 3 games are the 3 contenders for my favorite video game of all time. So it was really hard for me to choose between which one I should put at the number 1 spot, because all 3 of these have a special place in my heart now. So I just decided to do them in chronological order. So let's just get right into it. Whew. Man, I absolutely love this game. I think you guys know what's coming up. For a lot of people, this was a breath of fresh air. No, it's not Breath of the Wild. I thought it would be a good joke. You don't have to laugh at it if you don't want. Anyway, this was an absolute massive game. This was one of the pinnacles of any Nintendo collector. This is one of the pinnacles of any Zelda fan. And you cannot have a love for Zelda and not have Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. If you have never played this game, this is one of my contenders for favorite video game of all time. Like I said in the beginning of the video, my first video game memory was with this game. It was just such a long time ago, but even in preschool I remember playing this. It was just an absolute joy, and about maybe 2.5 years ago, I did a full playthrough on it. I got everything. I got all the gold Squoltas, I got all the pieces of heart, I did all the side quests. I did everything. And the whole experience was an absolute joy to me. I didn't have one single moment I regretted. I loved the polygonal graphics. Excuse me. For those who know, on Instagram, I love the N64 the most. So that's the console that I will generally show a love for. But I love the polygonal graphics of this game. It was a very advanced step forward in technology for those who are the younger generation and don't understand what graphics looked like back then. This was just before my time, but it was still pretty popular when I was a child. This was a massive game. It's really hard to pinpoint what this game was. It was a RPG action-adventure game, I guess you could call it. But I absolutely adore this game. I will defend this game as the highest ranked video game of all time. I will defend it to the grave. I mean, there are problems with it. There's always going to be problems with video games, but I'm able to overlook it. And just to show how much my appreciation is for the video game, I got even the Japanese boxed version of it. So that's my love for the franchise as a whole. I would willing to get extra versions of the stuff even if I can't play it. Okay, moving on. This is around the release of the Wii. This is when these games were new with the Wii Motion, with Wii Sports and stuff. Sorry. And then they were starting releasing games, and obviously the GameCube was right before it. But I didn't really have a love for the GameCube, and I'm still working on it today, but I really loved the Wii because this is part of my teen years. So this is junior high, a little bit of high school. This game is one of my most favorite games of all time. Like I said in the beginning of this is one of the three. And like I said, I'm doing a chronological order of what I've played. And this is going to be probably my favorite Wii game and really almost favorite Zelda game, just because of nostalgic reasons. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. This game, to me, is an absolute masterpiece. I mean, you cannot play this game and not enjoy yourself. If you're looking for a more serious toned, very cinematic Zelda game, this game is for you. I mean, just look at that artwork. Doesn't that look like a Zelda game just based on the artwork itself? Become a legend? I mean, seriously, how can you not pick up this game and play it? This game is massive. And for a fun fact for you, for those who don't know, the GameCube version is actually different than this one. The maps are actually flipped on it, so when you try flipping to the GameCube version, everything's reversed compared to what you know in the Wii version, so that's one of the reasons why I can't play the Wii version. But that was just a little fun fact. I thought I would throw that in there, just because I'm a Zelda nerd. But yeah, guys, this is one of my contenders for favorite video game of all time. I will defend this game as one of my favorites. I know a lot of people didn't like it, just like how a lot of people didn't like Ocarina of Time over Majora's Mask. I prefer this game over, I believe it was the Wind Waker. That's probably one of the fighters for GameCube. And technically this was a GameCube game as well. And another fun fact, this was the first multi-platform released Zelda game as well. So I prefer this game over... Oh, is it going to balance? Nope, it's just going to do that. I prefer that over Wind Waker, just because of really main of nostalgic reasons, and I like cinematics in my games. To prove my love for this game, I got a sealed Nintendo Select version, and to prove Nintendo's love for this game, as well as everybody else, they even released an HD version on the Wii U, so that was pretty cool. Took me a while to find it, too. Alright guys, I think you guys know exactly what the last one is coming up. This is the most recent one that came out, and this is almost like the first one. This is exactly what people wanted in a Zelda game. They wanted an open world adventure where you can do anything, go anywhere, climb anything, smash anything, and do it at your own pace and leisure. So, for my third game for contending for favorite video game of all time, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. If you haven't been paying attention, or if you live under a rock, play me. This is an absolute masterpiece of a video game in this century. There is not that many games that have been able to top this, in my opinion. I mean, there are some that I know of that are not Nintendo platform, but this was, to prove how good this game was, this won Video Game of the Year for 2017, I believe, because I waited the whole Video Game Awards ceremony just to hear the words, and the winner for Video Game of the Year is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I was so excited when I heard that this game won. I made a little like a little shrine for it and posted a picture right up on Instagram. I was like, yes, I knew this would win. I waited the whole time just to hear those words. But this game, this is, I'm going to use the pun again, this was a breath of fresh air. This was just an absolute mind-blowing open-world Zelda game. Are there downsides to it? Yes, like I said, there's always going to be downsides to every video game, but that does not stop it from being one of the greatest video games ever made of all time. There's not enough words I can say to talk about it. I mean, I love it so much. I got the Wii U version. That's the first version I played. I got the Legend of Zelda expansion pass case, just the case. I bought the DLC when I bought the game. I mean, just look at this. Look how many versions of that. I got the Explorers Edition, and as you can see, I got my Special Edition box that I bought even before I bought the Switch, because I was so excited to play this game on the Switch. And I had to wait for a little while to get a Switch because it was popular back then, about a year ago. But yeah, guys, that was my list of favorite Zelda games. As you can see, got my 3 favorite ones up there: Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and Breath of the Wild. If you guys had a more favorite, like if you like The Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, or maybe Majora's Mask over there, or it looks like I got a couple other GameCube and Wii games set up. Looks like I got Link to the Past tucked in the corner back there. The original, not the Game Boy Advance version. If you guys have a different favorite Zelda game, let me know down below. I would love to hear what games that you guys like and what your reasons are, because remember, I haven't played all of them, so you guys might mention a game that I've never even heard of, or maybe that I just don't know. I mean, I know there are some, like the recent one that I played on the handheld was Link Between Worlds, and I do love that one, but that's, to me, that's more of like a remake of Link to the Past, or a reimagining, if you will. If you guys like Nintendo content, or just nerdy stuff in general, leave a like on this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you guys don't mind a nerd making some videos here and there. I'm unfortunately too busy to be setting up this stuff, I mean, because it takes me a while to get this stuff set up. But yeah, let's just like, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe, guys. This is another production of Ranking Nerdjuctions, and I'm gonna wish you all a Merry Thursday, and hopefully your weekend is just as fun as an open world adventure in Breath of the Wild. Take care.